Guess who's late for work again? It's Chris here with day 32 of the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge. Let's get today started, huh? So I'm on my way to work, and some of you are probably going, Chris, you've been to work twice this week already, why are you going again? Well, I got called into work, so now I have to do a bunch of canvases for a whole bunch of internet orders that came in at the last minute, which is ideally a good thing, but also a bad thing, as I was meant to have a meeting in the city today with a friend in regards to a business proposition. Luckily, they're a friend of mine, so I was able to postpone it reluctantly, but it means that I can get paid a little bit extra at the end of this week. And there's someone else working today, which means I'll be able to stretch the canvases pretty much distraction free. So I should only be there for 3-4 hours maximum if I really get my tush into gear. So at least I can have the afternoon to myself if I do get the work done in time, and I can get a new video made up, which I've been wanting to do, which was planned for this week regardless. So not going to the city will free up some time if I manage to finish work early. Kind of the good thing about my job when I do get days like this, they sort of call me in to do the job that only I can really do while I'm there, and then I sort of get the luxury of just leaving when I'm done. It's pretty good. There's not many jobs like that, and I still have my consistent pay, my consistent shifts as well, so picking up the extra shifts is always handy. But that aside, I did manage to get my work done this morning, as always. I'm finding it so easy now, having been doing this for 30 days. Well, I was doing it before the 30 days anyway, but getting up at 6 o'clock now just really isn't a chore to me, where sometimes I would wake up and it would just be a struggle and I'd sleep in a little bit more, whereas now the alarm goes off, I'm just ready to get to work. Sometimes the biggest thing for me waking up at 6 o'clock, or the hardest thing for me, was my alarm would go off and then I would think to myself, what work do I urgently need to do? And sometimes if there was nothing urgent to do, I would just go back to sleep for an extra hour, because I would feel that the sleep is more important than the artwork. So having this anthology book and monkey junk, getting up at 6 o'clock and knowing that I can't really do a lot in the evenings really helps drive me to just get out of bed to get the work done. So I'd say this to anyone who wants to get their work done. Create deadlines or create some form of urgency, whether if you're working on a project. So if you want to spend those extra hours, or like in my case just the minimum of half an hour for the challenge, have those goals in mind. That, I mean, for me, like, I really wanted to get this comic done by last month, but obviously that didn't happen, but the goal was there, so I was pushing a little bit harder. As long as there's a goal or a deadline, and this is true, especially if you're starting to do freelancing and do client work, those deadlines make you get the work done. If you've got to do the late nights or the early mornings, you'll do it. And it shouldn't be any different for you guys when you're doing your client work. Sorry, not your client work, your own personal projects. Because they should be just as important as the client work, if not more important. For me, I love the client work because it brings in the money, but I prefer my personal projects because they're the stories I want to tell, and they're the stories that I want to make a living off of at the end of the day. So I want to put in my all. So this is just me preaching to you guys. If you've got a personal project, and I know most of you watching here do, you shouldn't be treating your personal projects any less than you should be treating a client job. Because even though you're the client, you're just as important as them. Just because there's no money in it doesn't mean that the project isn't just as important and doesn't have as much value, because sometimes it has more value. I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard this many times. When you're pitching to a publisher, or you're wanting to get your own children's book published, or you want to get your own comics published or a story written, generally publishers will be more enticed to hire you if you have taken your own project from the word go to the finish line, and have a greater confidence in you to hire you and get you to do the work that they want you to do. You might get lucky, you might get published to publish your own book. So let's say, for example, Holly pitched Purgatory to someone, and they picked her up and said, we want you to continue Purgatory and we're going to pay you to do it. That's the ideal goal. That's essentially where I want to be. But say I pitched to IDW, I said, look, there's this webcomic I've been doing for the past 6 months. I've been doing a page a week, every week. And they're really happy with it, and they turn around and go, we love it, but we want you to work on this project, and then maybe down the track we'll see what we can do. Perfect, because at that point I'm getting comic book work, I'm getting recognised, which means my comic book will eventually get recognised. And it's always this snowball effect where even if you're not working on your own product, but you're getting published and you're getting your name out there, it's all going to come in full circle. People are going to find you. People are going to go, I really like this guy or girl. What have they done in the past? They're going to backtrack, see what they can find. I've had many times where people have picked up Nevermorrow, my most recent comic, and they've gone, oh, what else have you done? And they'll go pick up How to Make a Friend. It's a completely different subject matter. It's a completely different type of story, but they pick it up nonetheless because they like the work that I do. And it's true for any type of work that you do. So yeah, coming back to it, treat your personal projects just as hard as you would any regular client job. Guess what? It's time for shoutouts. Shoutouts. Today's shoutout is to a very special friend of mine, who you probably know from the Art Bastards. His name, Jeffrey Chumba Cruz. Or, if you like, the Chumba. Represent on my t-shirt today. If you guys haven't checked him out, please do. Check his Patreon out especially. He's doing some fantastic stuff over there with his comic book random views. Otherwise, check him out on YouTube. He does a ton of time-lapse stuff. He's just started vlogging too. Hopefully we'll start seeing those as well. Highly recommend it, guys. Check him out. The Chumba. I'm out for the rest of the day. This is Chris. Goodbye.